Hi, Jeff Hall here, and today I'm going to be reviewing an album that I've been wanting to review for a while, and that is The Human League, and that is the album Reproduction. Um, I'm going to put on my notes for this video, caution, the album cover is disturbing. Like the rule with most first albums by new wave or post-punk groups, they tend to be pretty dark for debut albums, and this Human League album, Reproduction, is no exception. It's a very dark album from beginning to finish. In a way, it's like if you took some of the weird stuff that Peter Gabriel said in live Genesis concerts, like the weird stories he came up with, and made them more modern and darker. That's kind of like the way the lyrics are on this album. They're almost dark, nonsensical paragraphs that tell really disturbing stories of governmental control, the human condition, uh, all kinds of things. And so I'll go over the tracks on this album, the backside to it. This is a reissue, so it's got a lot of bonus tracks, and I'll tell you about those. Um, Almost Medieval is a great opener. It's very heavy. It's very cutting edge for its time. I mean, you're considering this is 1979, and this sounds as heavy as modern techno, if not Skinny Puppy sounds, and this is 1979, so it's way cutting edge. Circus of Death is kind of a synthy, kind of talking song about telling a story. It's really weird. The Path of Least Resistance is kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a hazy song. It's kind of like takes you on a journey. I don't know, it's weird. Blind Youth is kind of a poppy punk song. It's political, but it's kind of got a catchy pop vibe to it. The Word Before Last is very, very dark. It's like Skinny Puppy, Clan of Zymox combined. I don't know. It's really dark. It's got really dark, doomy lyrics. Empire State Human is very poppy, and I've heard a lot of songs on pop radio stations for the modern radio stations playing the same beat as the song. So it's a really used beat that you don't hear about often. Like you think what people would rip off is "Don't You Want Me," which is actually called "Don't You," but "Don't You Want Me," their song they're best known. You think that would be the song they would rip the beat off from, but this is probably the most ripped off beat song of Human League I've ever heard. Like people sampling it and claiming it as their own. Um, Morale, You've Lost That Loving Feeling. It's an instrumental that's really dark and very cutting edge, and it goes into the really excellent cover of You've Lost That Loving Feeling. It's the best cover I've heard of the song. It's better than the Firms cover, the band with Jimmy Page and the Bad Company singer. It's better than any cover I've heard, better than any version I've ever heard of it. It beats the Righteous Brothers version of it. It's that good. Um, Austerity Girl 1 medley is just a weird instrumental. It's good though. Zero as a Limit is a very excellent way to end the album, and it's a very depressing song about, I'm assuming it's a girl that gets ran over by a car, and it tells it as it's happening, and it has these really weird claps, but it picks up. It's a very, very powerful, epic, emotional song, but I love it. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. And you get to these bonus tracks, and you have Introducing the Dignity of Labor 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're just very experimental instrumentals. You have Flexi Disc, which is very funny. It's just the band at the time talking about releasing this album and putting it out, and has this funny quote about from Philip Oakley, the singer, that says, "No matter how big you are, you're going to be dead pretty soon," which is true. So that's a really awesome quote, and it's a pretty cool little thing that just shows the recording of the band making this album. Um, Being Boiled Fast version is the single version of the song. It's the one that's best known. You'll find it on the greatest hits. And David Bowie called it the future of music. It's a very cutting edge pop song. Except it's not, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a pop song. It's very doomy. It's about the Buddhist religion and how they boil orphans and make them into butter for Buddha. It's basically based on a true thing. That's what these Buddhists do, and it's really cool that a rock group is really anti-Buddhist because most of these celebrities and rock stars and all that end up going to be Buddhist religions, if not Scientology. And they act like, oh, Buddhist is peaceful. It's so good. It's a great religion. And this is the kind of things they used to do. They used to boil orphans alive to make butter for Buddha. And it's just that twisted. And it's cool that this group, the Human League, showed that to the public making this song. It's really weird it became a hit song though because of the lyrical content. And Circus of Death Fast version is basically a similar version to the one on this, but as a Philip Oakley telling kind of what it's about in his own words. I don't understand what he means. He sounds really weird, but with the way he phrases things. But all in all, this is a really good album from 1979. Sorry about the album cover art. It is pretty intense there with but I like it because it's this album obviously is about the human condition. The band is called the Human League. So you get songs about the human condition and I can see how that this album cover resembles the human condition because it's babies being stepped on by the human race. And I think anybody that's had it bad in life can say, "Oh, I remember a time where I felt stepped on at work or stepped on in life or stepped on by my parents or stepped on by bullies at school or whatever." And it's a very relatable kind of cover, and I don't know, it's brilliant, I think. When I first saw it all, and then I was like, "Well, that's disturbing." I mean, I didn't expect the same group that sang "Don't You" and "Keep Feeling Fascination" would have an album with a cover like this. But it's a really brilliant cover, though, when I come to think about it. And it's a great album. I rate it. It's my favorite Human League album. If I was to own one Human League album, this would be it. It's before the girls came in. Joanna Callis, I think, is her name, and Susanna something or Susan something. I don't remember their names for sure, but it's before the girls came in. It's mostly just the guys that were in the band to start. It's very futuristic. If you like Throbbing Gristle or Cabaret Voltaire or Skinny Puppy or early EBM or early industrial techno or very creative post-punk with synths, Kraftwerk, then you should really like this album. And it's a great Human League album. I like it. It's way ahead of its time. It's a really great album. And I hope you like my review, and I hope that shows another side of Human League that people probably don't really know about because they're more than just their pop songs. They were a very cutting edge group.